Alright, so many of you have probably heard about Apple Intelligence. I mean, it was a pretty massive announcement, seeing as Apple basically never speaks about AI. And there really are so many features I could cover, but I've narrowed it down to the top three-ish that I think are really impeccable. And I believe number one will blow your mind. So I want to start with the little things. Now, some of you may disagree with my decision to put writing tools underneath the little things, but let me voice my thoughts. So, there's multiple different apps, like say, for example, Google Gemini or ChatGPT, where you can feed them information and it will summarize it for you. Or you can even ask these bots to write stuff for you. So although having the ability to have an AI sort of write stuff and summarize it and be baked into the iPhone is cool and will be very useful, of course. It isn't the newest thing on the block, right? All right, so you may have also heard about Genmoji. Essentially, the ability to create any emoji you want just by using a text prompt. And of course, this does sound really awesome. Believe it or not, I have actually ran into situations where it actually might have been kind of nice to be able to create an emoji that sort of fits the topic of conversation. But nonetheless, it is a cool feature, but I do also think it happens to stand out a bit more towards the younger generation. Now, of course, this one might actually be quite important for a lot of people. I know it is for me, but the new Mail app is actually getting a bit of an overhaul, meaning it will have a bunch of new AI features in it. And literally, probably one of the coolest things is literally being able to have the app sort of give you suggestions on how to reply to an email, meaning you click different boxes and it kind of creates the email for you so you don't even have to type it. I think that is really cool and would be very useful for me. So I believe Image Playground is one of these features where it could be extremely useful, but it could also be not that useful at all, as a matter of fact. And for those of you who don't know, Image Playground is a fun little tool which allows you to create, generate whatever images you would like inside of the default Apple apps like Keynotes, Pages, Messages, Notes, stuff like that. And you can generate these images using different themes, like I believe there is an animation, an illustration, and a sketch theme. Of course, it would be more useful if there was a bit more themes, but nonetheless, I do think it is a cool concept. But it can also take advantage of what is on the screen as context to help you generate more related to that topic stuff. And so I guess for me, it feels like a toy. It feels like it could be a cool tool, but it also feels like it could be a toy. So maybe I'll get some use out of it, just kind of depending on what I end up doing. So now the point you've been waiting for, and that is Siri. Now, I'm sure you probably, if you've heard about Apple Intelligence, you probably knew I was going to put this at number one. But yeah, no, we can say goodbye to the old Siri. The new one is 100 times better. And let me explain to you why. So just for some backstory, in case you've, been under a rock, you've never heard of Siri before, it used to be absolute garbage. It was never aware of context. It could never handle more than just one question at a time. And half the time it would just get personal information wrong or not understand you. And it really didn't make for a very good personal assistant. So now, the new Siri, imagine all these problems you have with the old Siri, imagine they all get fixed. And Apple adds some new stuff on top of that. That is the new Siri. So the new Siri is more, context aware, as well as being aware of what is on screen at the time, meaning it will be much more relevant to what you're doing. Now, she's also much better at understanding natural language, for how she speaks, as well as understanding you, but also being able to stumble on your words and still get the point across to her, so she's not entirely confused. Like, say you meant to set a timer for 5 minutes, but you really meant like 3 minutes. So you can correct yourself in the same command, and Siri will understand, which is so much more convenient. You can also type to Siri, which I know was actually a previous feature. You could type to Siri, But having this advanced Siri also be able to answer questions, for you more comfortably in public is an awesome plus. And she can also prioritize notifications for, certain times or locations or whatever else. And like we mentioned earlier, the writing tools, well, she can actually take advantage of that as well and help you proofread and summarize and edit and do all this stuff with text, in apps. And so it just is 100 times more convenient. But that's really it. That's the main features I've noticed that, stood out in Appleintelligence. Of course, there's more to cover. And if you would like another video covering the extra stuff, of course, let me know in the comments. But if you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell as it helps me out a ton. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. So yeah, bye guys.